Surprisingly enough, not all identical twins are equally identical. Although they are all the result of a single embryo splitting in half, when that split happens, makes a huge difference to the kind of twin they become. Usually, the embryo splits during the first week after conception. If that happens, you get carbon copies. But if it happens later, say between 1 and 2 weeks, you can get something different, mirror twins.
That means one's left-handed, one's right-handed, one's left-eyed, and the other's right-eyed. Or the third classification of twins.
We did a study on pattern baldness, and they were really interested being mirror image identical twins at the swirl pattern of our hair. And since I'm left-handed, mine swirls to the left, and obviously I'm right-handed, so mine swirls to the right. Our eye teeth on the bottom, my left side is crooked and my right side is crooked. We've had ingrown toenails, left foot, right foot. So it's pretty amazing.
If the embryo splits at around 2 weeks, it cannot divide completely, and the consequences for the twins are profound.
Hi, welcome to my home. This is where Reba and I live. This is my living room / bedroom.
Laurie and Reba Chappelle were born in 1961. Joined at the head, their doctors realized that if they tried to separate the girls, one of them, if not both, would die. 38 years later, they live in a place of their own in Philadelphia.
Next we have, this is the kitchen. It's small and, but not really spacious, but it's big enough for me to get around in and do my cooking. I do the cooking for all of us. Reba doesn't cook, but I do, and this is where I do that.
In a situation such as this, that's when you really learn to compromise. If you don't have anything.
We each take our baths at different times, our showers at different times. We don't even do that the same. What we do is we just take this curtain and we put it like so, and we sort of keep the other one dry while the other one is doing their business in the shower.
After 38 years of spending every moment together, you have to wonder if Laurie and Reba aren't by now really fed up with each other.
You get tired of it. I mean, I'm sure Reba...
No, I don't.
No?
Absolutely
okay, well,
not. I don't.
I would if I was her.
I speak the truth, but yes, you are correct. You do get tired.
Yeah, I do. She can ignore me. I mean, I can talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and just try to get her attention till I'm blue in the face, and she can just totally wipe me out. I mean, that's it. She doesn't, when she feels like she doesn't want to talk no more, she just shuts it off. She shuts the hearing of my voice totally off.
Well, I have to.
Yeah.
For me, it would be that or else
go insane. This is Reba's room. This is where she comes for solitude and to get away from me, so to speak, and to get away from just everything.
Despite living so intimately, Laurie and Reba seem to have very different characters.
She really knows what she wants in life, and I never did. I mean, I went from job to job and school to school, and I really didn't find anything that I wanted to do. And she did, and she's been working at it since she's a little girl.
I'm the breadwinner. I'm a country singer. That's how I earn my money.
I bought her this, I think the first full year she was a singer. And when I saw this, I said it had to be for Reba because Reba is the true word of a country girl.
Got that old-fashioned love in my heart, and there it will always remain, like an ivy climbing vine, clinging closer all the time, through these years and these tears, just the same. Got that old-fashioned faith in my heart, and nothing can tear us apart. Driving me turn to see, but there'll be no changing me. Got that old-fashioned love in my heart.
I don't get cross at them, but I do get impatient at times. And I will say something to them like, I would like to shop on my own if it's all right. If you have something to ask it. Don't be staring because I don't stare at you, and
I won't say anything. I'll just wave to them.
yeah, she waves.
That'll usually send them on their way.
Yeah.
And if they want to ask, then they'll ask. Whatever they want to do, if they're just staring to be obnoxious, if I wave, they'll leave. Or if they're staring because they want to know something, they will come up and ask a question.
The most famous conjoined twins were Chang and Eng Bunker. They moved to America from Siam in 1829 and were the original Siamese twins. Chang and Eng were 59 when they died. Chang died first from a stroke, and over the next 2 hours, Eng bled to death into his brother's body. The doctors who performed their post-mortem also made a plaster cast of their body. It shows incredible detail. You can see the doctor's original pencil marks and the autopsy scars. You can also see odd hairs pulled out by the plaster when the cast was made. Chang was the more intelligent of the two, but he was also bad-tempered and an alcoholic. Eng did not drink at all, although he was much more easygoing. Chang and Eng shared barely 1% of their blood supply, and within the band of flesh that connected them, there was just a narrow strip of liver. Today, they could be separated with no problem. The same is not true for Laurie and Reba. The sisters receive regular medical attention from their doctor, Jack Templeton, because as well as being conjoined, Reba has spina bifida and is paralyzed from the waist down.
It's a total block of the whole entire...
Whole shoulder. Well, that's great. Why don't you come on in here?
Okay.
Mostly, Reba rides on a bar stool, but quite often, Laurie has to carry her weight. After 38 years of lifting her sister, Laurie became numb in her shoulder. Her doctors recommended that she have her neck and spine scanned by MRI. But they also took the opportunity to have their first good look inside the sister's skull. When Laurie and Reba were born, scanners like this didn't exist. There were X-rays, but these don't show nearly as much detail. It was impossible to tell if they were joined just by blood and bone, or whether their brains were actually fused.
We know that this one is Laurie because we see more of her spinal canal. This is her jaw, and this is Reba's jaw. And you can see where that conjoining comes up in the mid-portion of the face.
This brain scan shows something that is astonishing. Laurie and Reba actually share large amounts of brain. In these times, when the brain is considered the seat of our individuality, finding that two people share large portions of it is quite shocking and surprising.
It's interesting because they're such individual personalities.
You don't want to just sit on here? No. Second from?
You know that Reba has a very creative type spirit, whereas Laurie is much more practical.
Right. No.
So you might imagine that the two brains would abut each other but would be separate. But in actuality, they share a considerable amount of brain tissue very densely. But even though their frontal lobes, they're part of their parietal lobes, and their temporal lobes are fused on the side, they don't have the same thought processes. They are extremely independent.
This is going to sound weird, very weird. She doesn't dream.
I
Hardly.
don't remember me ever dreaming.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
can't,
I've asked her, I
maybe
said, you don't dream? And she's like, I don't remember.
remember me ever dream. I just remember me actually sleeping
That's it.
straight through.
So, and I have lots of dreams.
And she does dream.
I think a lot of mine are because I'm bad. I eat like right before I go to bed. So I think a lot of them are brought on by food.
The main part of the brain which they share is the frontal lobe. This is the part that is responsible for conscious thought and for controlling our emotions.
You don't get angry when I get angry.
Only if we're angry about the same things.
Right, yeah. And if I'm happy
Right.
about something, doesn't mean she has to be happy about it.
Is that too hot, Reba?
That's fine, thank you.
And Lori, does that feel too hot?
Sharing as much brain as they do, you'd think that Laurie and Reba might share some physical sensations, but they're pretty clear about it.
I don't
Keep your
feel
breath if you want me to.
the pain
You can
when she gets hurt.
sit and sing.
When one of us first got hurt, I quick second wondered if maybe I was going to feel it. But then after she had the pain for a while and I didn't have anything, I figured that's never going to happen, so no need to even think about it. So I don't think about it anymore.
Regis bought us
Mama didn't get a
Who's
chance
Mom?
to, huh?
this one.
As well as sharing brain, through their heads, they also share a blood supply, and that has its own consequences.
Yes.
Now, if I would get drunk,
I will.
she wouldn't get drunk, but she would start feeling the alcohol because if I keep drinking, she's going to get more of a level of it, but she's not going to get drunk. I will be drunk.
Maybe I'll get what she gets like drinking too. If she's drunk, it'll be like I have only drinking two.
Right.
Exactly.
Mine's really long.
Exactly.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
won't hold like.
Okay.
I will curl it like that, you know, but
Laurie and Reba share their genes, their brains, and their lives, but they work hard to make the most of their differences. The fact they succeed is something of a challenge to anyone who wonders about what makes us who we are.
do you want to see the back of your hair? We'll spin you around. Lori, come this way.
Trying to do.
Here. Over here.
Sharing so much of their brain, I would think that surgically separating Laurie and Reba is out of the question,
The beauty mist today?
and it's not something they want anyway.
I see no medically and logical reason to separate us. The question never entered my mind. It will never enter my mind unless there is death. And then one of us, yes, would have to be saved to continue life. Only in emergencies. Other than that, absolutely not.
Sadly, all too many twin stories